Hey Richard, how you doing? Don't know what happened there. I was streaming away and something went wrong with my stream, so I had to bail out and start again. How you doing? You good? So like I was meant to be finishing this build on the stream, but obviously, for whatever reason, I've had to sort of jump out there and start again. So I've actually progressed a little bit further along than I had anticipated. I'm just going to pause that there for a little minute. I've just, like I said, I've just had to restart that stream, so I'll just wait and see a few people pop in. Done this for now. You're right, that's more like it. Or just saying, Raj, but I have a rap for you. Okay, let's hear it. Or let's see it, rather. So guys, just kind of picking up from where I left off in a previous stream, I had started this already, merely 10 minutes ago, but my sort of stream balled up, so I had just been working on, let me just take it off here, this section of the house here. So whenever I finished off, we had kind of done this bit here. Hey Alien VR, how you doing, man? Thank you for dropping by, hope you're well. Yeah, so we just kind of done this bit here, but I've now added this little section on the end here, so it's just a little toilet, a little bit of a hallway, so I'll just hold it up there so you can see. And then that just pops on the top of the house, so I'm just carrying on then from there. We also got our next minifigure with this little chap here. So I don't know who it is, but he's got like a nice kind of grey sports jacket on, it's printed front and back, and a blue shirt. He looks like he has another vampire. I met an alien chilling on Mars, pulling up quick in the spaceship cars. Big green head and then bugged out eyes, told the Earth Wi-Fi way too high. Alright, I like it, man. Very good, very creative. Keep adding to it. I want to see another verse. See if you can sort of incorporate something about this build into it. That would be good. So yeah, I don't know what happened in the last stream, but like I said, I kind of had started building. So if anyone's kind of keeping track of these streams, you will notice a little sort of gap between building, where I've progressed way further than I should have, and that's just like I said, because my stream went off and I had to start again. But hey ho, it's not the end of the world. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope you're having a nice Thursday evening, isn't it? So, Tommy, how you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for saying hello. How you doing? So yeah, this is it's a great build. In fact, I'll sort of pull it over here so you can see. So essentially, just so that everyone that's on the stream knows, we're building the house, the Cullen house from Twilight. So there you can see the front of it, and if I I spin that around, you can see some of the details to the rear. So I'm not going to open it up and kind of go through it in any more detail at this point, but once I'm finished I will. So we've been working on this for a couple of streams now. We're almost finished. We're kind of at the end of it really. We're just working on potentially the roof at the minute. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think it could be. We'll see. But yes, it's really good set. I've really enjoyed the build. I don't know much about the movie. Tommy says nice Lego sets. Thank you, man. Yeah, some of the sets in behind me are, well, most of them are top tier sets. These will eventually work their way into my layout. I just have them in here, just to sort of give them a bit of airtime and I suppose to make for a more interesting backdrop for these streams. I eventually will have these all. I'm sort of working on. I'm working on a layout in above my garage, and these will all eventually sort of work their way in there. Monkey asks, do you have a Lego Jar Jar Binks minifigure? Monkey, I suspect I probably don't. I'm not really a big collector of Lego Star Wars. In fact, I'm not a collector at all of Lego Star Wars. I did sort of get sucked into sort of not collecting minifigures, but just trying to gather, as many minifigures as I could from the various themes without spending silly money. I picked up quite a few, through various magazines and stuff like that. But I don't think I have a Jar Jar one. I'm not even sure I've seen a Jar Jar. I'd say they're obviously going back to the sort of sets from that movie range, which have been a good little while ago. So I'm pretty sure I haven't come across one. Paul Drag McKenna says, "About you, how you doing, mate? Good to see you." That's a local greeting if ever I've heard one. Hope you're well, man. Do you have Ninjago? Yo, how you doing, man? Do you have Ninjago? No, I've got a couple of Ninjago sets. Not a huge amount, but you maybe see on top, I've got Ninjago City Docks up there. I have most of the Ninjago sets that sort of fit into those larger kind of modular style of set. So that's it. I think I've got the Dragon Shrine from they come out start of this year or end of last year, but I just thought it looked like a cool set. And I have one wee set from the Ninjago movie, like a wee tuk tuk style one, like a wee police chase, but apart from that I don't like Ninjago. Monkey asked, do you have any Bionic? I presume you mean Bionicle. No, I don't. I only really got back into Lego about 6-7 years ago, to be honest. So that would have been, I stopped collecting, playing, building, whatever when I was, a child. Well, not a child, but when I was a lot younger. So Bionicle kind of fits into that era between when I stopped and when I started again. And again, it's not something that I'm interested in, so I'm probably never going to pick any of it up. There's some pretty... I'll tell you what I do have. I have the Bionicle gift purchase that came out recently. I cannot remember the name of the two characters, Bionicles, whatever they are. So I have that. So I have one Bionicle set. Just bought the Lego Jaws. Well impressed. Here it's a fantastic build. Really, really good. I built it a little while ago there. And was really impressed. Have you built it or have you just bought it? I'm not sure quite the best way to display it, because obviously you can display the shark coming out of the water biting the boat, or you can have it on the stand separate. And I quite like the shark in its entirety, but obviously you have to sort of break it in half to display it that way. But it's a very good set and it's a great build, and designed by a local lad as well, a guy from, I can't remember exactly where he's from, but he's from Ireland anyway. What is your rarest set? Oh, Monkey, that's a great question. It's a very good question. Rarity wise, do you know what it probably is? It's probably also my favourite set. And it probably wasn't rare at the time, it'll be rare now given its age, but it's the Lego Metroliner train 4558 set number perhaps. So it's from like 1991, and it is my favourite set first and foremost, but it's also probably a set that it probably isn't that widely it's not really available at all now because it's long gone. But I'd say a lot of people that have it in their collection probably don't anymore. So it's probably rare in that regard. I just love it though. It's a great set. Beyond that, I don't actually know. I'm not sure. I've a massive collection. I think some of the older trains, probably the Rarest train and the Emerald Knight, are sort of somewhat rare. And I do have a sealed Emerald Knight. So I also have the gift with purchase, the ribbon cutting set from the Belfast store opening, which was available on the opening weekend. If you spend however much, and it sold through very, very quickly, so I don't think there's a lot of them, so that'll be rare in terms of quantity of set. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. What about you? What do you have in your collection that's rare? Podrick says, just built it better than I expected. Yes, I would be inclined to agree with that. I really enjoyed it. Hey Axidius Prime, thank you very much for dropping by. Lego live streams are the best in my opinion. Really. Do you know what? I enjoy watching them personally, and I actually really enjoy building and streaming. I'm not always the most engaging of people, but if people actually enjoy sort of watching me build, I haven't built anything in ages actually, but if people enjoy it, then that's great, because I love actually streaming and building. Sorry, Podrick. Yes, it was a much better build than I expected as well. I knew it was a good set, but I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the boat. It was particularly impressive. I really liked how it came together, especially with it being entirely brick built and not using any sort of significant molded pieces was a real sort of bonus. Just I have a great way. I haven't at the minute. It's just sitting on a shelf, but I really want to display it on a shelf in front of a large Jaws movie poster. And I saw someone else doing that and thought that was a really good way to display the set. So. Okay, so that is indeed the roof that we've built there. So I'm going to just pop it on here if I can turn this around as it is, and I think it just sits. How does it sit like that? It's confusing. No, like this. There we go. And then it's just kind of held in there really by, there's a few little lights on the inside. So it's just held there by gravity. There's no studs or anything that attached onto it. As you can see, it's kind of all built sideways, and then it's just used a few of the wee headlight bricks to have a few sort of studs pointing downwards to represent lights. So it just kind of sits in there. Where do you get most of your Lego sets? Monkey, I get my Lego sets from anywhere I can, to be honest. I buy direct from Lego, online, in store. Generally only stuff that is, well, it's obviously only stuff that's currently available, but generally only stuff that is exclusive to Lego and thus isn't really available anywhere else for any cheaper. Or if there's a really good gift to purchase, I'll sort of always be tempted by that. I buy from independent stores. I buy from like any other retailer selling Lego, Amazon, Argos, any of the UK retailers, and just second hand as well, through eBay and wherever. I don't like, to be honest, I've kind of got a whole lot of the sets that I had missed that I wanted, so I'm reasonably sort of good now from a, hey Gulnaz Man Zero, how you doing, man? Thank you. So I'm reasonably in a reasonably good place now in terms of having what am I saying? Yeah, I sort of am just picking up stuff now as it comes out. So again, it'll be usually just direct from Lego or from any retailer that's better than Lego for price. Podrick, are you still back home, or are you in exile like me? I was exiled, but I have returned. For whatever crazy reason. I'm not sure what brings you back sometimes, but there's always something about home, isn't there, that for all the problems our little island has, it just draws you back in. So no, I moved back home. I've actually been back home now for 12 years. I lived in England for a little while. Well, for a good while, and I actually had a child over there, but when we had our child, I needed the support of my parents, so I moved home. It's not the only reason I moved home, but that was one of the reasons. Where are you yourself? Are you away for good, or will you ever come back, do you think? Wait, is that the Twilight set? Come on, I watched each one of those movies like six. Oh, Exilius, help me then, because it absolutely is the Twilight set. Here, I'll hold it up to the camera just so you can see it a little bit better. Right, so there we go. It's the Cullen House, obviously, which you will know much better than me. From I'm going to say the second. I think it sort of first appears in the second movie, perhaps. I have never seen Twilight. I've never seen any of the Twilight movies. Not because I don't like it or anything like that. But I just have never seen it. It just never really grabbed me. So I'm kind of missing a lot of the references in this set. I don't really understand a lot of it. So I also have no idea who all these characters are. It's probably really hard for you to say that, but I've kind of caught on to Bella being kind of one of the main ones, and then presumably her father, and then I've got like four vampires here. So I don't know who any of them are, but there's lots of wee things in the house, you know, and it doesn't really mean a lot to me, unfortunately. I had the same problem with this set here, the Sanderson's house, which again was a fantastic build, incredible amounts of detail, but I just don't know the movie that well, so a lot of the detail within it's kind of lost on me. Paco, do you like Lego Star Wars? If yes, are you in debt? I totally get that question. I don't know how you could collect Lego Star Wars and not be in debt. In some, the short answer is no, I don't. And to be honest with you, I never had any intention. Then, whenever The Mandalorian was out, I loved The Mandalorian. I really enjoyed the series, and Lego started dropping sets for The Mandalorian. And I thought, oh, do you know what? It's like a sub theme. I'll pick a few up, and you know, that'll sort of scratch my Lego Star Wars itch. And then they just kept releasing set after set after set, and I was like, do you know what? I can't keep up with this. So I have a few, and they're all for sale, or they will all be for sale. I do buy some Lego Star Wars, but I buy it generally with the intention of selling it on at some point in the future. I kind of buy it as an investment. Working in the UK at the moment, but I'll be back home at some point. Very good. You have to go where the work is, Potter, you definitely do. Whenever I moved away, it wasn't necessarily to work, but you know, it was work that kind of kept me away for a good while. But do you know what? I love it back home. I love the pace of things over here. It's a wee bit slower than sort of in the UK. I live in Manchester, and Manchester's a fab city, but it can get busy. And you know, there's just something nice about the pace of things here. It's slow, it's easy, it's a wee bit more relaxing. People are nice, so you know, I miss being away a wee bit, but I'm happy back home. Exilius, I'll be honest with you, I don't have a huge opinion on it, only because, as I said earlier, I wasn't really into Lego when Bionicle was a thing. So it has kind of bypassed me, and it's not really something that I personally would be interested in. However, you get some phenomenal pieces, which can be very useful, particularly for mock building. You know, it allows you. There's a lot of a lot of joints and odds connectors and stuff like that, which I suppose opens up you know, the ability to sort of build a little bit sort of out of the box when it comes to sort of mocks and stuff like that. So I kind of appreciate the parts, but I've just no interest in them. And that's not against them. We can't like everything. So do you primarily build Bionicle style mocks, or do you use kind of the Bionicles to sort of build mocks of anything else? Little Mangal says hi. Hi Little Mangal, how you doing, man? Thanks for stopping in. Right, and that is the other portion of the roof done. So let's see, how does this go on? It goes like this. Fabulous. And they've actually incorporated a little bit of an angle in the roof on the front and back. One of the things that I really like about this set, and I know obviously it's designed as it is to make it, you know, accurate to the movies, because this will have obviously been how the house was in the movies, but in terms of architecture and in terms of build, there's so many angles, and I really like that, because a lot of the houses that you build in Lego are just square. You know, like the Sandwich and Sister house is square. Granted, it's a pitched roof, but it's square. But then that's just how it was, so you can't really argue with that. But this is fantastic. You know, you've got like a 45-degree angle there. You have a 25, 75, whatever degree angle here, and then you've got a bit of an angle on the roof, and there's overhangs. There's a wee cantilever. You know, it's a really cool build. It's really, really well done. And actually, that takes us on to the final bag. I really like Bionicle since it was what started my passion for medicine and anatomy. I even built microscale prosthetics. That sounds amazing. Do you show this off anywhere, Exilius? Or I'd love to see some of the stuff you've done. I love how Lego has kind of, you know, been sort of integral to, you know, a passion that has, you know, obviously, well, it's obviously influenced your sort of life passions. I think that's really cool. I know, you know, Lego's great. It's fun, it's interesting, it's diverse, and, you know, it's arguably good for you in a way. But I love that it also sort of has enough about it that it can help influence people's sort of life choices and whatnot. That's really cool. My name's Stephen. Stephen with a PH. Fatigue. If anyone gets that. Right, so we're on to the last couple of bags here then, or well, the last bag, there's just a few wee bags in it. So we've got one last minifigure here. Now I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that, no, drop a piece and it's away across the floor. One sec. I'm going to go out on a limb here and I'm going to say that this minifigure is whomever Robert Pattinson plays within the movie. What's quite interesting about him, and I don't really understand why this is, so hopefully someone can help me. He comes with 2 hair pieces, just sort of a normal sort of nice tousled spiky black hair and then really long black locks. So I'll oh, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that. It's great to have people on board. You don't have an Instagram page or anything like that, do you? I've actually come across some really good mocks from Italian builders recently. I seem to be getting a lot of that on my feed. Some really, really cool stuff. So you guys are doing good at it. I love Italy. Italy's a great place. I've been a couple of times on holidays and it's a lovely country. But like I said, can you confirm who this character is for me? I'm going to bring him over. You can give me the rundown. So here we go. Dual molded arms. He's wearing a black t-shirt, flesh tone arms, blue trousers. Not a huge amount of detail on the t-shirt, and then we have like a snarly face there, and just a sort of more sort of straight faced eyebrows. He's actually slightly warmer toned than the other guys. And then, like I say, he comes with 2 hair pieces. So like I said, we've got this one, which is like just a pretty cool sort of wee bit of spikiness. And then we've got this thing here, which is super long. So I don't really understand why I've got 2 different head pieces here. But again, I don't know the movie, so I'm sure there's a reason. I personally am going to go for the short hair. But if anyone can explain to me who that is, like I said, I'm going to imagine that that's Robert Pattinson, his character. But if anyone can just enlighten me as to who that is and why he has 2 different hair pieces, then that'll be amazing. Little Mengal, I am from Northern Ireland, whatever you want to call it. That little island close to the UK that is full of fun. Started off building models out of matchsticks in Magabry and then moved on to, oh wow. And when you say Magabry, do you mean Magabry the village or Magabry the prison? That's cool. What sort of mastic models did you make? Like anything extravagant or smaller stuff? Lego Final Therapeutic. I 1,000,000% agree with that. I love it. I just love sitting here and building. I love kind of that I've discovered this live streaming. Okay, very good. I suppose you would need something to keep you entertained there. uh, yeah, I've sort of really enjoyed just streaming and building. You know, I love sitting here. I love talking to people about sort of Lego and the builds as well, and especially stuff like this because, like I said, I don't really know this movie. I just like the set. For me, it's just a house and a vehicle that I can put in the layout. But there's definitely something very therapeutic about sitting and building. A set that I actually really enjoyed building, and funnily enough, I built it with my sister. So we own a coffee shop together, and just during quiet time, we were building the Lego World map, and we actually found that it was an incredibly therapeutic build. You know, for a build so big, and like given that it was all just like studs and a lot of colours, and it was sort of challenging enough, you know, to sort of follow at times. It was still super therapeutic, and it comes with like a soundtrack and stuff, and it's just so nice. But there is definitely a lot more to Lego than just sort of building, isn't it? You know, for some people it's just a nice place to sort of centre yourself and whatnot. Never had Instagram since I think people in my school make fun of me. I don't lost friends in real life. I'm in high school, by the way. Dude, you know, don't don't let other people sort of deter you from being who you are. That's all I can say. And I know that's really easy to say. You know, for me sitting here, you know, like I'm well through life. I've endured the struggles of high school, and they are difficult. I have two daughters, you know, who are both in high school now, and you know they're finding their little way, and I appreciate it can be really tough, but you know, be you, and don't be afraid to be you. Never. And the irony of it is, I totally get where you're coming from. You know, to a lot of people, Lego just seems like a childish thing to do, especially in high school. I can imagine it can get a bit funny, but you'll come to a stage of your life then where you realise there's people of all ages and whatnot and types and everything doing Lego and just loving it, and you know, if it's what you enjoy, don't let other people sort of, you know, dampen your enthusiasm for the hobby and whatnot. You know, you've obviously found it to be a good source of creativity, and you know it's brought out a passion for you, and you know, in anatomy and medicine and stuff, you know, so like that's great. You know, you're kind of probably in a position that a lot of people can only dream of being in by virtue of the fact, you know, you've sort of learned to, you know, express yourself through brick, and it's really helped you develop a love for something, so that's great. But I equally I get that it's easy for me to say that sitting here, and I get that it's not always that easy, so. And high school is tough, man. High school is tough. I was not the most shapely of people, to put it politely, in high school. I did get teased a bit. Very thick skin, thankfully, but you know it can get pretty tough out there. Like. So, I appreciate I probably haven't spoken much about the building in a little while. We're on the last bag. For anyone just joining in, we're building we're building the house from the Twilight movies. It's set number, so it's the Cullen house anyway, and it's set number 21354. It's a Lego Idea set. I think it was Lego Ideas set number 65. It's still available, still in shops if you tuned in and you like how it looks. It's a really good set, really good build. It looks fantastic. It'll display great, but I will actually be incorporating it into my layout when my layout happens, or when it sort of evolves a little bit more. So that's kind of why I've bought it. But we're just on to the last bag, really enjoying the build. It looks fantastic. And I think now we're building a werewolf, and I appreciate that this movie, one thing I do know is that the movie is about werewolves and vampires. I'm very much familiar with that, so we're building a werewolf at the minute. Bodrag hates when he treads on a wee brick in the morning. Dude, there's nothing worse than standing Lego. It is officially the most painful thing on the planet, right? Even more so than childbirth. I say that. I thankfully build kind of away from you know, anywhere that I would be treading in the morning, so it's not really a problem. But yeah, you gotta tread carefully. those brakes are painful. I like Madeline books, for example, and they criticise it, but I don't care about their opinion as long as I'm happy. And that's absolutely the only thing that matters, dude. It really is. Because if you're not happy, then what's the point? You do what you do because that's what you enjoy and that's what makes you happy, plain and simple. And at the end of the day, you know, we're all different people, and kind of that's one of the great things about life, isn't it? You know, we are all different. If we're all the same, it'd be super boring. You know, just be who you are. Who's your favourite rock band? Or metal band, rather? Oh, there we go. I thought I'd completely missed a piece off this, but I'm just jumping ahead in the instructions. So yeah, we're building a werewolf here. It's a brick built werewolf. I'm generally speaking not a fan of brick built animals. I know technically a werewolf's not an animal, it's fictional, but you know what I mean. But I'm generally speaking not really a fan of brick built animals. So there is like a werewolf minifigure that I'll maybe try and get my hand on and incorporate it into this build instead. I'm not saying that it's not well done. You know, they have done a good job. Oh, I've got that wrong, haven't I? No, I haven't. Yeah, they've done a good job with the werewolf. It looks great, but I just don't like brick built animals. It's kind of why I've never really got into I've never really bothered with the Creator 3-in-1 sets, because they all usually come with an animal of some description, and it's all brick built, and I just don't like them. So many good molded animals out there. That's cool, Patrick. Sorry. That's cool that, you know, the Wayans are building. I love it. My girls aren't that fantastically into Lego. Like, they will indulge every now and again. You know, one of my daughters kind of likes brickheads a wee bit, and the other one's kind of really into horses. So she does like sort of horsey stuff, but you know, they don't really enjoy building the way I do. They did it when they were younger, but less so now. So I don't really get the opportunity to build with them. But there's nothing nicer than just seeing the kids sitting building away and having a blast. Batman stuff and Harry Potter buildings. They're presumably Harry Potter fans then, are they? There's no shortage of options when it comes to Harry Potter Lego, that's for sure. There's plenty to keep them building anyway. Axidius Prime asks, what is your favourite Lego theme? It's a great question. It's a hard one to answer. Technically speaking, the Lego that I enjoy most isn't really a theme on its own, but I kind of like to think of it that way. So I love Lego trains. Lego trains are my first and foremost. That's what I love more than anything. And that would be kind of my favorite Lego stuff. But if I had to choose a specific theme, then I'm probably going for gonna go for Lego icons or Lego ideas. Either of those, I suppose, would be right up there for me. But yeah, if you'll give me trains as a standalone theme, then trains are my favourite. Yeah, you're absolutely right. There are too many. I actually started collecting Lego Harry Potter. Not all of it, but there's a few lines in particular that I like the look of. The moments, like the classes and stuff like that, I really like them. But it just very quickly became overwhelming. There was just so many sets, and I wasn't passionate enough about them to want them, if you know what I mean. And there was just too much. I couldn't sort of maintain. I'm a bit of a completionist, so if I start buying a theme, I like to get everything in the theme, or as much of as I can, and I just found that there was too much and I couldn't keep up with it, and I just got a bit frustrated and fed up. So I have a lot of Lego Harry Potter that's going to be sold off at some point in the future, but like I said, I loved the idea of it at the time, but it just became too much for me. Right, so we're putting these, there's like these funky, I don't even know, they're like sort of quarter dome pieces with eyes on. I'll just let you have a look. Bring out the camera. So this is obviously the eyes of the wolf. So those are quite cool. They're like sort of special one-off printed pieces in this set. That's obviously they form part of the wolf's head. Something's not quite right here. Can't get that stem. What have I missed? I've missed something. Ah, there we go. Axidius, I'm going to put that question out to anyone else that's here. Oh, well, there you go. Oh, I was answering already. Oh, you like the Indiana Jones stuff? Here, I actually built this a couple of streams ago. I did a user poll actually, or a subscriber poll to see sort of what people wanted me to build, and I gave it the option of a couple of sets, and I built the Indiana Jones plane chase, which I think is a class set. I love the plane, the design of the plane is fantastic, and the car actually. It is obviously a bit vintage for my layout, but I'll make it work. That's the only Indiana Jones set that I have. They obviously released a few recently, didn't they? There was a few of them quite recently, and I actually really enjoyed. I really liked the look of the Temple of Doom set. And obviously, I was saying to you earlier about mounting the Jaws set on a shelf in front of the Jaws movie poster, and I have like a Jurassic Park, the T-Rex Rampage, which I'm going to do the same with. Mount it in front of the Jurassic Park movie poster, and I was thinking, if I had the Temple of Doom, I could have done an Indiana Jones one as well, because it's the same sort of scale of a build. The three of them would have just looked apart alongside each other, but I didn't get it, and it's retired now. I'm not sure sort of how it's performing now, or if I could indeed afford it. So, but Indiana Jones is cool. I loved the movies when I was younger, like so. Anyway, I have to go now. Thank you very much, beautiful words, and for making me relax as well. Thank you for stopping by. Axidius, I appreciated the chat. It's always nice to sort of meet someone and sort of talk Lego and whatnot. Have a great evening anyway, and you're very welcome. Make sure to tune in. Make sure to tune in again for some more builds. There's a werewolf, by the way, before you go. He's not bad. I'll hold him a bit closer. He's not too bad, is he? For a brick build. Werewolfy. He looks alright. It's quite very big. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in anyway. I appreciate you stopping by and chatting with us, and hope you have a good rest of your week. But like, do you have like the older Indiana Jones stuff or the newer stuff? Again, I missed a lot of those sets on the grounds they kind of released when I wasn't particularly into Lego. So this is the last part of the build now anyway, so we'll be wrapping this up very soon. We are just building the tree then that I think goes on the side of the house. And then that's us finished, so it's a bit of a repetitive process here by the looks of it. Which I'm not following. Okay, yeah, right, I get what's going on here. So it's just using these cool fern elements upside down on these sort of 4-bar pieces here. Not the easiest to get on actually. Just going to put them all on square to one another. I think that should be fine. Because I presume we're going to sort of alternate the pattern as we got the tree, just to. We've got 5. Do this 5 times. It's a real tedious way to finish the build. I wish I'd have done this at the start. I kind of would have preferred to have done all the mini builds at the start. You know, the werewolf and the tree, and finished on the house. And for me, I think just putting that roof on would have been just the perfect way to finish the build. They look sound. Yeah, they do. They're not too bad. So I'll probably use this particular tree design within my layout, you know, to sort of add a wee bit of, add a few trees sort of throughout the layout, because it's quite a good design, and I've managed to pick up a ton of these sort of fern pieces through pick-a-bricks and stuff like that, pick-a-brick walls and stuff like that. The Belfast store actually has loads of the green, the sort of bright green ones at the minute. And I think these are just great pieces. They're obviously useful beyond just trees, but I think they're class for making these trees. Okay, so that's the 5 sections then put together, and then we just join these all up, and I presume we just kind of sort of rotate them around every time, one on top of the other. And that just creates a nice wee bit of overlapping design. Looking good, just the top to go on it then. So that's 1, 2. And then this wee bit goes in here. Thanks, Padraig. I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate the chat. It's great to sort of catch up with. Well, you're almost local. You'll be local again one day, but you know, a fellow iFall, as I like to call us. Yeah, have a great week and weekend anyway, and hope we catch up at another point. I'm almost finished here anyway, so you're not going to miss much. Thank you, though. Take care. Just finishing off this tree then, and that will be us pretty much done. There's a couple of pieces left over, which we'll get in at some point. And that goes on. Not happy enough. Pop that on like so. I'm missing something from the bottom of this. Oh, I haven't put it into the actual tree itself. Alright. Here's the stalk of the tree, stem of the tree, the trunk of the tree. I think I've maybe missed something there. It doesn't sit fantastically well, to be honest. There's like a wee bit of a gap there, just where the bar goes up into, or goes down into the sort of round piece, but it is what it is. That's just kind of how it goes. Right, so that thing goes on to the side here. So adds a wee bit of extra detail, and then I think we just have like one little tree then that goes alongside it, and then that finishes this build off. So once I've finished this little tree, then I will bring I'll bring the camera down, and we're gonna have a look at the build in a wee bit more detail. And then that'll be us for the evening. So yeah, just a slightly shorter stream tonight. Like I said, I'm only really here to finish this build off. That's how could I have missed? What have I done wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there we go. And 5's down here. Yeah, I was only really sort of tuning in tonight to finish this build off, to be honest. So. I've done something wrong. What have I done wrong? It's weird coming at the top, and I don't feel like it should be. So annoying. I don't like this mini build here, and I don't think it's right. I think there's something wrong with it. I think I've done this on the wrong side, to be honest. Let's see if I can. I'll have to take the whole thing off again. This is slightly infuriating. That's not that straightforward, is it? It wouldn't be. I don't want to say that goes like that. No, I can't do. Does that maybe go? Bear with me when I try and work this out. The instructions aren't. Okay, I think it goes like that. I need to push this all through, so it's all going to come apart on me again, but. We're certainly not finishing the building style anyway, are we? Right, okay, here we go. That's fixed now. So turn that around. I kind of want that to be squared off a wee bit more. And then that doubles up. Okay, I think that's a bit more akin to how it should be. And then this just goes on the front. Like so. And there we have it. So the only thing then that's left is one piece. Flaming Toothless said hi, sup bro. Hi Flaming Toothless man, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by and saying hello. Hope you're well. We've literally finished the build. No, not the best time, but I'm going to give away overview if you want to hang around, if you want to see this set. So I'm just building the house from, the Colin house from Twilight. It's the instructions there. So yeah, I've just finished the build, so I'm just going to bring the camera down and have a look through it in a bit more detail if you want to see that. The only thing we have here, we've got this little translucent piece here that sort of goes on to the minifigure's neck and has a couple of studs in the back then, so you can attach a person onto it for some reason. Don't know why you do that, but that's that. So I'm just going to go and grab the camera here now, and I'll bring it down. Well, what I'll do first, I'll take the set apart. I'll take the roof off, take the top floor off, and then this floor comes off as well. And then we'll have a look at these there and build it back up again, and then we're going to wrap it up for the night because I'm going to go and watch an episode of Stranger Things. So let's have a look. Okay, so the first thing that we built was the pickup truck here. So there you can see the pickup truck. It's a pretty neat wee truck actually, just a wee red truck which presumably features heavily in the movie. And then we've got these 7 characters. I don't know who any of them are. I think this is Bella. I think this is Bella's dad. Then we've got a number of sort of vampires and whatnot here. So that kind of represents that section of the build. We also have the werewolf that we built sort of toward the end there. And it comes with a couple of neat printed sort of quarter dome pieces here. So it's pretty cool. It's a bit sort of flimsy. The legs kind of don't hold terribly well on it, but for a brick build, it's quite good. And then here we have the actual main sort of downstairs section of the build. So there's a wee bit of detailing on the outside, and then we've got these trees, these nice sort of fir trees here on the side. So this is, I don't know if this is like a pretend garage door or what the crack is, but we've got what sort of appears like a garage door here. But obviously there's just a bookcase on the other side of it, and a grand piano and a wee stool. And we've got a couple of wee decorations down in that corner. And then we've got this cool angled front door here. So this door is sitting at a 45-degree angle, which I think is really well done. And it's just in that nice, a lot of glass, a lot of glazing and grey. But yeah, so it's very cool. Then we have, oh crikey, the next floor of the building, which attaches on like so. So there's a lovely kind of cantilever section here, which is sort of held up by that pillar. And then you can see again, we've got this cool angle going on here, sort of opposing the angle down below. So there's a really nice contrast, you know, between this floor and the bottom floor. This lovely kind of box window here as well. And yeah, again, a lot of glazing and whatnot. The couple of wee balconies at the front and at the back. Then on the inside, we have this kind of little room here with a sofa and a wee chair and a few bits and pieces. And then around the other side, we have a kitchen with the island, with a hob and some chairs, and then this cool sort of angled bar and bench along the back side of the build there. And then finally we have the top floor. This slots really nicely in there, clips into place. And this then has a little bathroom at the top, and then what is presumably a bedroom with loads of music paraphernalia and whatnot. And then the roof itself just goes on top, and it just kind of sits on like so. So there we have it. Just move that over there, not there, and that's the final build in. So there you have Lego Ideas set number 65. Let me just double check. Oh, Lego Ideas set number 62 is set number 21354. It's the Cullen house from Twilight. 2001 pieces, 18 bags, and that took us a couple of hours over live streams to build. So gorgeous build, gorgeous set, and that'll feature very nicely within my LED. That brings an end to the stream tonight anyway, guys. So thank you very much anyone that's tuned in. Thank you very much everyone that got involved, and I hope you enjoy that build. Have a great evening anyway, folks, and take care of yourselves. Tune back in tomorrow night. If you're interested, I'm actually doing a combined build with another YouTuber, guy called iFault Bricks, and we're actually going to be building together the what do you call it? Krusty Burger, the Simpsons Krusty Burger. So I've put details up anyway in a post, and I have the stream sort of scheduled as well. So if anyone's interested in that, it's at 7:45. That's UK time tomorrow evening, and we're going to be just sort of chatting Lego, building, and all the rest. So thanks again anyway. Take care, and catch you all another time.